Welcome back to Business Boon, a product of the Boon Chamber and hosted by Deep in Talent Strategies. I'm Shawna Lake.
And I'm Byrum, and today we have Ben Moser with Clubworks, located in Zionsville. Thank you for coming here today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the struggles of startups. So Ben is going to help with some expertise in that. But one thing that we like to ask all of our guests first is, if your life was a movie, what would the title be?
It's an interesting question. I don't think I've ever been asked that. So I'm going to go with Tell Me I Can't.
Ooh.
So I guess the thought behind that would be, I've had people tell me I can't do something, and I'd find a way to get it done. So
That's awesome.
I guess we'll go with that.
I love that. I can relate to that. That might be a great segue into telling us a little bit about you, your background, and the origin of Clubworks.
Yeah, great. So grew up in Indiana, south side of Indy. Went to Indiana University, met my wife there. After graduation, I worked for Steak and Shake Management Program for a little while. They recruited out of Bayou, so did some of that for about a year. And then after that, started working for Best Buy and was a manager there. And worked my way up to the chain through Best Buy and did the corporate America thing. And realized that I didn't really want to be in that kind of atmosphere anymore and wanted to do my own thing. And so started a company that did smart homes, technology, installations, design, things like that. And so moved to Chicago, started that company in 2007, and was there until 2020. Had both our kids there, kind of did all that, and I realized that Chicago wasn't the best place to raise kids, especially when COVID was around. It was very, very difficult to live downtown Chicago and deal with all that. So much easier to move back to Indy, where my parents still are, her parents are, and just had some more support mechanisms in place. And Zionsville seemed like a good place to move. And so I moved back here, still have the business in Chicago, where I partnered with another company to get the work done for me. After that, things have been going pretty well, and so started looking at other options, other opportunities of things we could do and branch out, and decided we wanted to start a place to work and a place to have clients come and guests come and not only work but collaborate and network together and hang out after work and things like that. And we looked around and couldn't find that it existed anywhere. And so there's plenty of co-working spaces around. I'm sure we'll get to that and kind of talk about that. But plenty of those existed, and we visited them all over the last 2.5 years to see what we liked and didn't like. And I've been a member of a couple of them. They're nice places to work. But we just found it wasn't as collaborative of an experience as we really were looking for. And we really looked for a place to build a community, build a network. And so saw that opportunity, and that's what we decided to go with. And so that opened June 1st, basically, is when we kicked that off. So
nice. So a new startup.
New startup.
Yeah. I saw the pictures of the ribbon cutting. It looks beautiful inside.
Thank you. Yeah, love to have you come check it out. So ribbon cutting was cool. We had Boone County and Zionsville Chamber of Commerce kind of joint together, so it was fun. Never used giant scissors before, so I think Boone County's scissors were bigger, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think they were much bigger than the Zionsville one. They had two different ribbons, a green one and a blue one. It was a cool event. So nice to do those things. They've never had a chance to do before, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks.
So you've told me before that you had this idea while in Chicago and kind of wanted to replicate it here and kind of ran into some obstacles. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Sure. So in Chicago, what I was a member of was a couple different places, like key fob entry facilities where you could go and you could work, or you could bring guests or bring clients, things like that. And so that's what I was kind of looking for down here. And again, I didn't find that existed that I know of. Maybe I just wasn't invited to them.
Secret clubs.
They're top secret.
So maybe they are out there. Didn't knock the right way on the door or whatever. So that's where it kind of started with that. It was like, why don't we create that atmosphere? And went down that path a little bit, and like, well, we still need to actually work and actually get work done, have a place we can be effective in our careers, and again, partner with other individuals and collaborate and network. And so that's where it kind of shifted more. Okay, we're going to build something around that. We're going to have a place where dual monitors everywhere and phone booths to take phone calls on, and conference rooms and huddle rooms, things like that. But then also have a place where we can network together, where we have a more open space with a bunch of tables, and we have music, we have TVs, we have a golf simulator, we have all those things that kind of make it a fun atmosphere to hang out after work, or even if you have the opportunity to blow off some steam during the workday between calls or whatever. And so, kind of that's where the whole thing kind of morphed together. In terms of obstacles, I think it was really just finding the right location. I think is kind of the big thing, finding the right landlord to work with. So. It was about a 2.5-year process, I would think, roughly in between when we put it on paper, wrote up a business plan, started docking everything out, and then started looking for spaces around the north side of Indy, and just talking to landlords and kind of running into walls of they didn't want to really talk to us because we were a startup, and it's like a little bit risky on their end, obviously, even though we had to sign a lease anyway. We're covering the lease, but there were some obstacles for that because they just didn't want to work with us. Or they would throw out big numbers of, to add a wall and change the air conditioner is $300,000. We're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Do you want to rent the space or not?
Yeah.
Clearly did not want to rent the space. And so they're probably still empty. But then we finally found a good landlord to work with, local, which was great, and was, excited about our business model, went through with them, and they were excited to have us sign a lease and help us with the build out, which was great. So I'd say, I think probably just the biggest obstacles were finding the location and finding somebody to work with us on our plan. So
it's good to know that Boon REMC is always there. For generations, we've powered the growth of our neighborhoods, businesses, and everything in between. Today, our commitment is stronger than ever to provide affordable energy you can depend on and keep you connected to what matters most, now and for generations to come. Boon REMC is a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, your source for power and information.
So talking about some of the obstacles that you had and the unexpected challenges, what are some of the lessons learned now that can maybe help some of our listeners?
I think the big thing is if you have something you want to do and you're passionate about it and you feel like it's the right plan, just go for it and figure it out. I mean, kind of go back to, I guess, my title of my movie or whatever, Tell Me I Can't. It's like, get it done. I mean, put some energy, find the right partners, find the right people, be passionate about what you're doing, and go after it. And you're going to be told no. It's going to happen. People are going to tell you no. But if you believe in what you're doing and you have a good plan in place, you should be successful with it.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Along the way, I'm sure people gave you advice. Maybe you asked for some of it. Maybe some of it was unsolicited. What was some of the more helpful advice, and maybe some of the less helpful advice along the way?
Sure. So I would think, probably the best advice I've heard over the years goes back to passion, right? So be passionate about what you do and surround yourself with the right people. And if you do those two things, you're going to be successful. And so that's what I've always tried to do is find something I'm passionate about, whether the first company I started, and I still do, audio, video, and technology. I love that stuff. It's great. It brings me joy to do that kind of stuff, and to enrich people's lives with that technology is awesome. And so that passion drives me in that. And the same thing in Clubworks. It's like in the networking aspect of it and bringing people together and in a place they can collaborate. It's really neat to have that experience for people to have. And so I would say it's passion, and the other part of that is, again, surrounding yourself with the right people. So not being pulled in the wrong directions or down, I guess. It's just surrounding yourself with people that have the same vision as you and share the same direction and path in life and things like that. And so that's probably the best advice I've had. Worst advice? I just started to pick anything specific out because I just let that stuff kind of go off my back, like water off my back.
Nice.
I just kind of ignore it if I don't think it's going to be something I need to listen to.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's been plenty of people over the years that told me not to do it or shouldn't do it. It's not a good idea. Just didn't believe in the model that I was going to put together for whatever reason. And, I'm always open to feedback and always open to input. But I guess if I'm going to do something, it's going to happen. So
Coming back to the title.
Yeah. Proving them wrong.
basically,
Yeah.
and I carry that. Sometimes I carry it as a chip on my shoulder. It's like, okay, there's somebody else going to prove wrong. I'm going to get it done. It's going to be successful, and use that as some motivating factor, I guess, too. So
Yeah. So if you were to open up another brick and mortar location or business, what would you do differently?
I think it's a a good question, because we're still new, right? We just opened June 1st. It's still a brand new company, and so we've done zero advertising. Going to start an advertising campaign probably this month or next month, but I haven't really put any effort into that at all. And so we've been a very slow growth, word of mouth type thing, trying to get people in, trying to host events so they can see the space, that kind of stuff. And that's been our growth strategy. And it's a slow burn, which we knew, but maybe if we did it again, actually starting advertising before we open, or maybe trying to build some excitement around it, whether it be social media. That's one thing that I've never really been involved with the social media. My partner kind of runs that aspect of it for us, but we still do a ton of it because it's still, we're to the age where we didn't really grow up with it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for us to kind of get into that space, if you will, where, the younger generation is like, that's what they grew up doing. Was scrolling Facebook or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't have a Facebook account until I started Clubworks. I didn't even have one. And the day I started, I'm like, oh, this is horrible. I can't believe I have a Facebook account now. So now I've got all these people that I get constant messages from Facebook. So commented. I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. Now I'm in this. But I would think, I guess the big thing would just be maybe start thinking about business development a little bit sooner. We were so focused on just build out and acquiring everything we needed to acquire, all the furniture and the technology we were putting into the place, and so working with the general contractor to build it out the way we wanted to build it and all that. And so that took a lot of energy and effort. And Ryan, my partner, and I did a lot of the work ourselves. And so we kind of backburnered the business development part of it. And so I would say that's one thing I would probably do differently is maybe start that business development and start to try to build some excitement around a new company before it even starts.
That's good advice to do some of that planning ahead of time. And I admire your tenacity, to stick with it and be super focused. But I imagine that you had to be flexible on a few things along the way. How do you find that balance?
Definitely have to be flexible, and I still am flexible. The model is still changing. Like I said, it shifted over the last 2.5 years between the scratch paper idea and the business model to now, and it's going to continue to shift and change. And I do listen to our clients, our customers. We have meetings regularly. I talk to them every time I see them. Hey, how's it going here? How do you like it? What can we change? How do we make this a better experience for you and your guests and your clients when they come in to experience Clubworks? And so, always open to ideas and thoughts and things like that. Again, we have a focus of being successful and how do we grow the brand and how do we grow the business, but there's going to be different ways to get there, and it's not a straight path. It's going to move around quite a bit, and that's one thing I'm really excited about. We're actually going to start at the end of this month and this quarter a networking group. It's just basically going to start and meet at Clubworks on a monthly basis, once a month in the mornings, where people get together and they can have conversations and bounce ideas off each other, and then quarterly to be bigger events, and then every year we'll have a big kind of year-end party type thing. So again, kind of the way we're building that is just around networking and around collaboration, around helping each other build a business and grow. So that's something new that we just kind of were going to launch. So again, change our focus, not really focus, but just change our path a little bit based on that. So
I appreciate that, listening to your customers.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
As somebody who had never operating my first business, I think that was something I maybe learned a little bit later.
Sure. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to ask for feedback, I guess, sometimes. You think you know the right path, you think you know the right answer, but it is the customer's the one's paying your bills.
Yes.
So it's good to find out, okay, what do you like, what do you not like, what would you change if this were your space, how would it be different? And again, some of that feedback's you can just throw in the garbage, but some of it's you're going to have some nuggets in there that make sense and you can really learn from. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I know after COVID, a lot of businesses, well, not a lot, but I know one specifically in the local area is closing their whole entire brick and mortar, and they're like, well, we want you to find a co-working space to go to and work out of. So what makes yours different than other ones?
Absolutely. So again, when we were building this plan, we visited all of them around Indy. We kind of pick and choose. I was a member of a couple of them as well, just when I was looking for a place to work, because I get tired of working from home and I'm not traveling, things like that. And so, kind of pick and choose what we liked and what we don't like. I guess the biggest thing that's different about ours is networking and collaboration. We don't have any private offices. Like if you go to a lot of these other ones, their model is built on private office space. They have co-working memberships. They're making all their money off renting a private office that's 10 by 10 and has a couple desks in there. We don't have that. We have a couple offices you can use, but we're more based around, okay, it's an open concept, dual monitors everywhere, a place you can be efficient, but you're going to have a conversation with somebody, if you need to, that's in a whole different industry, but maybe has a different perspective on a problem that you might be having. And so that's one thing that really we focused on, was just that, again, networking collaboration, where it's, you're going to have those conversations. The other locations that have private offices, it seems like you just go to work, go to your office, you shut your door at 8 a.m., maybe grab some lunch, and at 5 p.m. you leave and you don't talk to anybody, right? So that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted it to be completely opposite of that, where it's more built around not having conversations with other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Making a friend or two.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's great. It sounds like you translated some of your personal experiences into the design.
Absolutely.
And the vision for that. We always like to wrap up our conversations with things that people know now that they wish they had known earlier in their career. So what might you share?
Again, going back to like passion. If you're passionate about something, you have an idea that you want to go after, just go after it. I mean, you only live once, as they say, YOLO, right? I mean, but it really is it. I mean, if you don't like your job, if you don't like working for corporate America, if you have an idea and you can get people, again, passionate about it, surround yourself with the right people, just go get it done.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
No problem. Thank you. Really appreciate the time.
Yeah. So sorry, one more thing.
Okay.
How would our listeners get a hold of you if they want to contact you?
Email address, ben.moser, M-O-S-E-R, at clubworks.us. Shoot me an email on that. info@clubworks.us also works. Events at clubworks.us is another email address. Got quite a few email addresses that go to Ryan and I. I would say stop by, but it's a private area. It's a private facility. It's doors locked all the time. So if you show up and I'm not there, Ryan's not there, you might not get in. So maybe you should just a note ahead of time. But love to have guests. Love to have people come by and see the facility that haven't been there. So
Yeah, I have been there, and it's phenomenal. So I would recommend that people schedule time to get a tour. That back space is something that you just have to see for yourself.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, pictures and videos don't seem to do it justice, and that's really what it makes us unique. Is that back networking and event center. It doesn't exist anywhere else in Indy, and that's that's what we've been finding. We've had plenty of businesses run it out for events, whether it's offsite trainings, offsite meetings, after hours events, birthday parties. We had a Sweet 16 birthday party there last weekend. That was pretty interesting. So just a lot of different stuff. So
I got a 3-year-old birthday coming up. I might
oh,
be
there
calling
you. Busy bee across the street might be good. Give them a plug.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. That's awesome.
Well, congratulations
Thanks.
on the new business. Thank you for being here. And for our listeners, we will be back with more insightful conversations. And until then, continue growing and leading with purpose.